Hey, this is Gilgamesh. I want to talk about something. Star Wars. Okay, there's two types of camps. There's George Lucas Star Wars fans, and then there's Disney. And I'll explain this. I saw a video Mueller put out where they're making fun of people for defending the Star Wars prequels. Okay, he's a Disney fan. Okay. In 2008, Twitter came into existence. In 2012, George Lucas announced he was going to do a new trilogy. What happened? The Disney fan fucks who claimed to be Star Wars fans went after George Lucas, said, "You're worse than Hitler," and they attacked him, they harassed him, they bullied him till he sold to Disney, and they cheered and jizzed all over themselves. And when he announced he was selling to Disney, they were all happy. This includes people like Mueller, all these people from Friday Night Tights, geeks and gamers, they were all like, yes, Disney owns it now. Because these are the same people that love Disney Marvel films. Oh, yeah. They jacked all over this stuff. See, the original Iron Man 1, Iron Man 2, Captain America, the first Avenger, and the first Thor movie, all produced by Paramount. They were not done by Disney. This set up the Avenger film. I don't like Disney. Understand, Walt Disney stuff, absolutely love it. The way he did the animation and everything, I'm not a fan of Disney as a whole company. I really can't stand them. I've said this before, but here's the thing. Now, I don't have to like everything George Lucas changed when he did the extended edition. Like having Guido shoot before Han. Han's an outlaw. He's a criminal. He's a cowboy. Of course he's going to shoot. He's not going to give Guido the chance. You ever watch a cowboy movie? The bad guy would always shoot first. So yes, that part, and adding Jabba back into it when he changed Jabba from a human, because that scene in New Hope where Han runs into Jabba and he's talking to him, that didn't give away that originally. And the original scene was a British actor who played Jabba the Hutt. He says, "You're fine for a human," and Jabba the Hutt in the movie, it's bad CGI, is a slug. Because remember, in Return of the Jedi, he turned Jabba the Hutt into a giant slug. So, yeah, when you're going to change everything about him, that scene doesn't work. But yeah, I like George Lucas's writing. I love the prequels. I think, yeah, Jar Jar Binks is a fantastic character. Here's the problem. The Star Wars fans don't like the prequels. They can't even admit the prequels are good. This is where they made EFAP was making fun of it. I didn't watch it. I was like, okay, you guys have the right to not like it, but you shitting on people who are the same people who were praising Disney for buying Lucasfilm, just like Marvel Comics. And you are jizzing yourselves all over The Force Awakens saying, this is oh my God, they're back to form. But you then suddenly thought when The Last Jedi came out that it was shit. No, it was shit all along. As Padme says, Luke and Leia's mother in Revenge of the Sith, the second best Star Wars film. So this is how the Republic dies in loud applause. I said this, didn't make a video at the time, but I stand by it. When people celebrate Disney buying Lucasfilms, I said, so this is how Lucasfilms dies. This is how Star Wars, Indiana Jones, anything that George Lucas did dies in loud applause. They cheered it on. They were like, yes, evil Hitler won't ruin Star Wars with those prequels. And Mueller still can't get over it. George Lucas wrote his stuff for children, for 12-year-old boys, not for you, and you can tell they're Disney because Andor, they love the fuck out of Andor. They'll tell, oh my God, this show's really good. Even though they have a scene that literally gets a woman almost raped, they go, yes. See, Star Wars was always for 12-year-old boys, not for adults. Now, Chris Gore, Film Threat, put a thing saying, make Star Wars sexy again. Okay. Well, as far as I understand about the Leia slave outfit, it was a slave outfit. It wasn't to show that Leia's sexy or whatever, because she's very conservative. Look at her outfit after they kill Jabba and she's freed. She goes back to wearing very conservative, covers herself fully up except for her hair. She's fully covered up. So that was to show that she had her freedom taken away from her. So you literally want women to be sex slaves. Is that what you're saying, Film Threat? Is when Leia's wearing that, she has no freedom. She's in a chain. She's literally Jabba the Hutt's slave. So what do you mean by make Star Wars sexy again? You want women to be chained up like Leia was? Not a very good look. Plus, Jesus Christ told Mary Magdalene, reason women should cover up is to make men resist lust. Because it's easy for men to fall in lust. Men are visual fucking stimulators. Everything can make a man become a sinner. Yeah, and George, you got all forget he's a Christian by it, yes. And he wanted to show what it looks like when somebody who... See, the Force, the Jedi are supposed to represent the virtues of, the resistant temptation, the 7 deadly sins, the real demons of hell. You can give them whatever fake names you want. Those are the real demons of hell. So that's what the Sith, they represented fallen into the 7 deadly sins, given into your sin. So that's why Jabba the Hutt, being a sinner himself and a gangster, would have Leia dressed like that. But once she's freed, once they kill Jabba up and they free, and save Han and everything, she goes back to being very conservative. No, as if George Lucas was saying, resist the temptation of lust. Yeah. So they now, and that's what always got me about the two sides. And they always want to make fun of people they don't like because they don't really believe, and they don't debate. They would never debate someone like me. Mueller would never bring me on EFAP or Friday Night Tights or get any of these people. They would never debate me on Star Wars because I could clean house on them and say, no, the stuff you guys didn't like George Lucas prequels, which were perfectly cheesy as the original trilogy, that you attacked him. You're the reason, not Kathleen Kennedy. See, it's easy to put the blame on Kathleen Kennedy. It's hard to point the finger at yourself and say, you're the reason George Lucas sold to Disney, and that's what killed off everything. Kathleen Kennedy couldn't have done anything until Disney got their hands on it, so you fuckers attacking her. And as somebody pointed out, Kathleen Kennedy was a hell of a producer. You all forget that. You wouldn't have the Indiana Jones films without Kathleen Kennedy. You wouldn't have fucking there'd be a lot in fucking Spielberg's catalog that wouldn't have been made without her. Yeah, Spielberg would not have been the goddamn director you all fucking jizz yourself to without Kathleen Kennedy. Yeah, and there would have been no Indiana Jones films without Kathleen Kennedy, because she was the producer of those films. Oh no. So you can shit and blame her, but you're the blame. Yes, I put this totally on the Disney fans who said, oh, we love these Marvel. The Marvel films have always sucked, because Disney sucks. Now, you can like this, you can like The Force. Oh, they loved Abrams. They were jizzing all over. We love you, Abrams. We love you when he got the directing job for Force Awakens. Oh, did they forget about his? Oh, yes. These are the same people that loved Lost and loved, Alias and loved Felicity and loved everything Abrams did. Oh, now they shit on the guy. Now they say he's a terrible director, but they were jizzing all over. I didn't hear these same people attack over his Star Trek films until much later. I always find the people who sit there and praise these lousy directors and think they're so good, then suddenly turn around and go, oh yeah, that sucked. It's like The Force Awakens. They were all beating their dicks to it, saying how great Force Awakens, when it's just literally a rehash of the first fucking movie, A New Hope, which is actually technically the fourth film. But yeah, and then suddenly they're talking about how bad it is. But they still want to blame The Last Jedi, not themselves. Now, these same people will sit there and they love feminism. They love Terminator 2. They go, oh, it's a great film. It's a feminist piece of shit. They love James Cameron. They love Aliens, a generic feminist shooter. So bad, it basically wrecks the first movie. Yeah. David Fincher tried to go back to the first movie with Alien 3, but he literally got stepped on by the studio, so he quit the project. That's why Alien 3 is crap. He wasn't trying to do Aliens, the generic stupid shooter. These are the same people who love Peter Jackson. Oh, I love early Peter Jackson. I love his early New Zealand films because they're just creative. But then he gets Lord of the Rings. I'll tell you, I've said this over and over. I hate the fucking movies. I love the books. I have a collection, hardcovers from England. I had to pay over $100 plus $25 shipping and handling because these hardcovers come in a box, all artwork done by Alan Lee, commissioned by Tolkien. I have explained why I hate the fucking out of these movies. They butchered Peter Jackson. Oh, and then he did The Hobbit and fucked it up in the ass. Because Peter Tolkien described Smaug the dragon, not a drake, which is a Western, with the wings, the arms becoming wings. No, he made it very clear. He described Smaug. He had 2 legs, 2 arms, bat wings, and his head, not his neck. His neck wasn't. His head was shaped like a snake. Yeah, that's a description. It's in The Hobbit. But these people were like, we love the Lord of the Rings is the greatest. No, it isn't. It's dog shit. And I could tear this fucking shit apart. And I'll say it right here. Where's the Battle of the Shire? The ending of the book isn't there. Plus, I always thought Billy Boyd would have been a better Frodo because he's the oldest actor of the 4. Plus, there's a 5th missing. I could nickname him, most people say Fatty, because he stayed at Bag End, make sure nobody robbed it like what happened to Bilbo. It wasn't going to happen to Frodo. These little fat fucks can actually fight. Yes, that's what the end of the book shows. Yeah, I listened to cassettes. God, I love those books on cassette. The guy who did it, I forget his name, he did a great job. The point that it's kind of funny when he does the female voices from the book. Yeah. And see, the books are fantastic. The movies suck. And I despise Peter Jackson. He ruined any credibility I had, any respect I had from when Christopher Lee, who was Tolkien, wanted to play Gandalf, came in to read it, and everybody else in the room loved his read that they wanted him to play Gandalf, and Peter Jackson said no. If you pick Christopher Lee, I'll quit the project. Christopher Lee knew this. And he, instead of pitching a fit, he was so professional, he took Saruman and let Ian McKellen play Gandalf. Here's the problem. As much as I like Ian McKellen, Saruman's a far better character because of Christopher Lee. It's a weak thing to take your character that's supposed to be Christopher Lee. Go watch the original Hobbit anime movie. The look of, if you look at Gandalf in that looks like Christopher Lee. Yeah, that's because Tolkien, when he was writing the books, describes Gandalf as Christopher Lee. Now, Shelob comes from Morgoth, the god of all evil. Basically you would say that would be what we call the god of hell. Yeah. And she came off him. She's massive in the book. She's so big that she has a massive tunnels running through her back end. Yeah. And Frodo doesn't tell Sam to go fuck off. He never trusted Gollum. But in the movie, they have to. Also, Helm's Deep, as much as Critical Drinker brings up, and it is the problem with the scene is women, men, and children, the elderly, the women and children did not go to Helm's Deep. They stayed in Rohan for their own protection. You would never bring the most vulnerable people with you to go to war. You leave them behind. That's what makes the scene not work. Plus, the guy that died in front of Aragorn, yes, that elf, he was the one that saved Frodo. Yes. But no, they replaced him with Arwen. I get it, Liv Tyler's in the movie, but the point is, her father and her never argued over her marrying Aragorn. It was always decided. And Frodo lost the entire finger. Yeah, and when the battle was over, this is why he knew he had to leave. The ring had damaged Frodo so much that when they get home, when they're fighting Saruman's minions, Frodo realizes he has nothing left in him. So when he writes his tale and he tells it, he decides to leave. It's not a sad ending. They're not, they don't pitch it, they understand why Frodo leaves. Because he doesn't belong in this world anymore. That's what the ring did to him. Gollum bites his entire finger off. For the movie, Peter Jackson literally has the tip. Yeah, he still has most of his finger. Go look at the movie again. He bites the entire finger off. These are thumbs. They're not fingers. So he'd be Frodo of seven fingers and 2 thumbs. But, yeah. And Gollum, after getting back the ring, dances, falls off, and slips in. And he's actually the hero of the story, ironically. That's what, the scene when Gandalf tells Frodo that, don't judge someone based on their looks. Yeah. Because Gollum is the most unlikely hero in the entire story. The one who wants the ring the most ends up being the one who destroys the ring. It doesn't kill Sauron. It just weakens him because all of his power's in the ring. Yeah. And Aragorn doesn't have that conversation with, what's her, I forget her name, Miranda Otto's character. Yeah, they don't have that conversation. She's not with Aragorn. She ends up marrying Boromir's brother. And that wasn't, it was always, yeah. And the movie made Boromir seem like he wanted the ring, which he never did. He wanted Aragorn to come back so he could take the throne, then they can come back and help get rid of the ring. But Aragorn, being kind of stupid, didn't realize that's what Boromir wanted him to do. Take the throne, become the king, unite the people, fight the evil. Only does that at the end. But the problem is, if he listened to Boromir, he could have taken the throne. Boromir's father could have retired. All the men in all the other areas would have united to fight Sauron and defeat his army like they did at the end, thanks to Gollum destroying the One Ring. But still, good. This is why Sauron feared Aragorn. He never denied, only called himself Strider one time, was it with the hobbits, because he didn't know who they fucking were. Didn't know what the hobbits, had never seen hobbits. Everyone else knew him as Aragorn. He carried the broken sword with him, but for the movie, Peter Jackson takes all of that away and makes Aragorn seem like not assured of himself. And he has Arwen argue with her father over marrying Aragorn, which was never in the book. This is why they say the book is hard. Lord of the Rings is a hard book to do, because to do it, you would have to not make 3 movies. You have to make probably 6. Yeah, you'd probably have to make multiple of each book. 2 or 3 films of each one. So that would have been 9 films in all. And it would have taken a lot longer to film because you want to do the book accurate. Peter Jackson didn't do that. He shit all over the work. Like I said, it's almost impossible to properly do Lord of the Rings the way it's supposed to be done. Because to do it, you would have to follow the book and adhere to what Tolkien wrote. Peter Jackson didn't do that. He switched things around. I can't remember where, if it was in the, because, yeah, Sauron didn't die in the White Tower. He died in the Shire. He completely alters the book to fit his narrative and adds, just like what he did with The Hobbit, it's like he just has to add fake conflict and everything. And it ruins. I love the books. I've read the books. And multiple times. I hate these fucking movies. And that's not the problem. Why I bring that up, because when I say there's 2 types of fans, there's fans like George Lucas fans. Like, I love Tolkien's books. I love the original animated Hobbit movie. I fucking hate Peter Jackson's Lord of the Rings and his Hobbit. And I don't like Disney. I despise this company. And you got the people over here defending that shit that go, yeah, I love, and they make fun of anybody. They won't debate someone like me because I would tear them apart on it. I would point out, okay, where's, the whole Leia outfit wasn't because to make her sexy, it was that she had her rights taken away. So what are you saying, Chris Gore? You want women to be in chains? That was the whole point. Leia had no freedom. Yes, she had been captured by Jabba the Hutt. That's why she was wearing that outfit, not to make her sexy or anything. It was to show that she had Leia was very conservative. She covered herself up. Did you notice that all the movies she never once showed cleavage or anything until the slave outfit? And if you look at the way they did it, he even kind of hides her, he does a creative job of hiding her, how big her boobs are, how big Carrie Fisher's boobs are, and yeah, so you don't see any ass crack, even in the slave outfit. George Lucas, the outfit's done to hide things. Like, there's no butt crack. Yep, Leia's outfit does not once show off her ass crack or her cleavage, really. It kind of mutes her tits. If you look at her breasts are kind of hidden. So you really just see the thing. You don't see how big her boobs are. You think, okay, that's done to make so that, yeah, she has no freedom. Her freedom was, she was very conservative. Yeah, in her dress. That's why after she's freed, if you look, she never once puts back on a sexy outfit because that meant no freedom. Ooh, yes. George Lucas put her in the outfit, showed that she had no freedom to choose how she wanted to dress. For all you idiots out there, he was being the whole idea that women are cover up to protect men from lust, the sin of lust. As anything about men is that men are visual observers. Yes. So they want to still shit on the prequels, yet they'll then, oh, it's all Catherine Kennedy's fault. No, morons, it's your fault. You guys went so hard after George Lucas that he sold his company. You were the idiots who couldn't leave him the fuck alone. See, you treat Twitter like it's real life and it's not. It's a cesspool of idiots. That's what Twitter really is. It's for fucking people who are so up their own ass they can't help that they're being fucking retarded. That's why I'm glad I'm not on Twitter. Because, yeah, I got banned. Oh, I can go in. Oh, I'll go. Yeah, when Israel did their, when the terrorist attack was done in Lebanon with the pagers and everything, and children were killed, and people celebrated this, I said, do you know that they can do it to you? And I said, F Israel, and I hope Iran destroys Israel. I got banned from Twitter. Yeah, for speaking my mind. I am Jewish, you idiots. I don't support Israel. But hey, a lot of people love to jump on trends and go, oh my God, they don't give a shit about the Palestinians. None of these fucking from Hassan Pike or the rest don't give two shits about the Palestinians. Just like anybody who jumps on trends, you have no you don't stand by anything. You'll change it's like people that claim to be Star Wars fans. Well now they love Disney so much. Now they're shitting on Disney, the very company who gave them the Star Wars they were looking. I love how they turned on the very thing they wanted because, they take no responsibility. Adults will always admit when they're wrong. Children will never own up to it. That's why they're not actually adults. This is why they buy toys and everything. That's why you see them surrounded by toys. What are they going to do with all those toys? Nothing. And the days eventually, and just so that if anybody watches this, there's going to come a day where all these people buying all these toys, like, you know who you are. I could say it. We've seen them. With all their toys, they're constantly buying toys like Gary Belcher, Neurotic. Eventually, you're not going to make any money on YouTube. What are you going to do then? Because those days are coming to an end. That's the whole thing. If you haven't planned you're going to lose monetization. You're going to lose, because Neil, who runs YouTube now, wants to turn it into cable. Why do you think they're pushing shorts and everything? They don't want to pay you. This is why they're making it harder for people to get your videos. Why they're, unless you pay them for YouTube so that you don't get ads, by the way, and pay you do subscriptions, you're going to not see a lot. And that's why they're kicking people off. They're going to basically take away ad revenue. That's coming, people. That is coming. The days of you getting ad revenue is gone. You get monetized on YouTube will be ending eventually. They're going to cut all that. And they'll take more cut of because they haven't made 1 penny on YouTube. As much as people watch YouTube has never turned a profit. Yeah, it's only because of Google that it stays in business. Kind of like Twitch. Twitch doesn't make any money for Amazon. And so, yeah. And I keep seeing people talk about the Netflix, Paramount, and Warner Brothers. It's going to Paramount. I've said that from the beginning. Paramount's the only one because it isn't up to Warner Brothers or Netflix or Paramount. It's up to the government, and not Congress or the Senate. It is up to the FCC, the Department of Justice, and the President. And they've signaled that Paramount's going to get this. So Paramount's going to get everything, including, there's not going to be a separation. David Zaslav isn't taking Discovery with him. He's not getting any of that. It's all going to fucking Paramount. He is selling the entire, they can't keep, and for all the people complaining, they can't. Warner Brothers, David Zaslav they don't have the money to keep going. The company's collapsing because when they allowed Warner Brothers to be bought by Discovery, they didn't have the money to pay off the debt. The debt's still there. They haven't paid off the debt. They've been screwing themselves to the point that Paramount wants everything, and they're going to get it all. And Netflix is lucky if they survive. Yeah, because Ted was such a joke in the Senate when he was testifying. He fucking made himself, and there are idiots that are like clapping, but no, it's really gotta go to Paramount, because Paramount still believes in in putting movies in theaters. Netflix doesn't believe in that. Wants to stream everything. They want to kill off the movie theaters. And here's the problem: China. That you're not making and like I said, Markiplier, that will never happen again. The studios will crack down on theaters, so you can't do that again, because they don't like the fact this guy did what he did to make a movie. He didn't use them. He somehow was able to deal with the unions and get his movie made for only $3 million, and he's already over $40 million. I've seen it 3 times. Iron Lung it's great because he took a basic game and turned it into a hell of a movie. And yes, the guy can act. Yeah. It's mostly him with just people, except for a couple of scenes with people, and it's mostly just him talking to people. Yeah, you hear the people, but you don't really see them after that one scene. Yeah, you see a few scenes that look like somebody in the submersible, but yeah, you're not going to see Hollywood do. Yeah, and by the way, for Clownfish TV, ByteDance, that company, the one that runs TikTok, is in America. So no, the original company headquarters are in China, but ByteDance in America is run by a Singaporean. It's not controlled by the Chinese government. Now, he backed down to Hollywood because he's a craven fucking retard, and so things, yeah. And so I just wanted to do this. I wanted to talk about how these people making fun of fans who love the original trilogy, you're the same people who can't handle the fact that your stuff sucks. Disney sucks. And now yeah. And George Lucas did a good job with the prequels. Debate me on, bitch, I dare you. Yeah. So this is Gilgamesh. I will talk to you later. Bye.